Hello, everyone. Welcome to the October Carrington Resident Council meeting. We'll be starting shortly. We'll go around with some introductions for new residents who may not be familiar with us, and then we'll each discuss some relevant topics to the community and our residents.
Hi, I'm Haima Levin. What do you do?
Hi, I'm Phil Cass.
I'm Mary Jo Winkus. Hi.
And now I'll make my appearance. I'm Tom Whitaker, Executive Director. Thank you for joining us. We are recording this presentation on Friday, October 23rd, and it will be played on Tuesday, October 27th. We always like to play our resident council meeting the last Tuesday of the month. So we'll get started with our October updates, and I'll let Haima begin.
Well, I'm intrigued listening to Tom talk about playing on the last Tuesday of the month because we used to have a history here. Before COVID, we'd have an all-resident meeting on the last Tuesday of the month. And I believe that eventually we will go back to being able to have all-resident meetings in the dining room full of people and do this in person and not recorded. I need to believe that. So anyway, I am part of the resident council, and my particular responsibility is to be the treasurer of the resident council. Not that there's any money that ever crosses my hands. This is a cash-free community, as you know. One of the responsibilities that we have as a community is to extend appreciation to the people who work here for us and with us. The employees at the Carrington are first class and the best, bar none. And at this time of year, you will be receiving soon, if you haven't already, by the time you hear this, a notification of a flyer and a form and an envelope for the Carrington Employee Appreciation Fund. You know that you're not allowed to give the staff any kind of money for anything that they do for you, and they are under penalty. They could be under penalty of being fired if they were to accept anything from you. But at the end of the year is our opportunity to express our appreciation to them with a financial contribution in their pay in December. In order for that to happen, you need to use this next month to determine how much you decide you will contribute to the Carrington Employee Appreciation Fund. The letter that you will receive has some suggestions about how you may go about making that decision, some suggested amounts or ways that you could decide to do it. The most important thing is that you give as much as you can. We sitting here, the three of us, never get those papers. Those papers go through the business office exclusively. We may be walking around asking you whether you made a contribution already, but we will never see the amount that you contribute. It's not important to us. What's important is that you give the most that you can. Particularly through COVID, it blows me away all the time to see the smiles on the faces of the people who work here, their willingness to go to any length to serve us, to find something, to bring something, to I'll go back and get another one for you, Haima, right now. Just give me a minute. They've always been this way, and there is no other way that we have to really show that appreciation, barring the thanks, the verbal thanks. So we ask you to be as generous as possible. The envelopes need to be returned to us at the end of November. There's a date on the flyer. Your flyer will come with an envelope so that you can seal it and leave it. Any one of the three of us can get those envelopes. You can leave the envelopes in the business office. It's okay, but please be generous as you can. This is the only time of the year that we can do anything like this.
And Haima, it's for hourly employees.
It's for hourly employees. That is correct. Tom is not going to get an envelope from us. Just want to put that out there. The man behind the camera is not going to get one. one of the other responsibilities that I have is to chair the Building Operations Committee, the resident committee that meets with Dave Jenkins, who's the Building Operations Manager. And one of the things I wanted to bring you up to speed with is a comment, is something that Dave will be giving you information about. Dave and Martalee have put together a list of the assumptions about housekeeping and what you can expect when the housekeeping folks come to your apartment. The most important thing that I want you to know about that's included on this is that Dave has determined that based on the size of your apartment, studio, 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom, the housekeeping staff can spend a specific amount of time in your apartment, period. If you want to pick up all the clutter and so that they can get more things done in the time allotted to them, that's entirely up to you. If you have lots of things laying around that they have to work around, they may not be able to do all the things you'd like them to do because Dave has given the housekeeping teams a specified amount of time. You'll see that, the amount of time on the flyer that Dave will send out. But I just wanted you to be aware of that. And you may decide at some point that there's something special you'd like them to do, and if you could trade off time. If they don't if they don't clean out the second bathroom, if you have 2, and can use that time for something else that you would like them to do, that's fine. You can discuss that with them, but they are restricted to a specific amount of time in each apartment that will be identified to you in that flyer from Dave. It's coming. And the last thing really has to do with all of us and every person here in the building. We are all concerned as the COVID rates are increasing in the community, in the county, in the state, and in our country. And I really, it worries all of us, and I just want to urge each and every one of you to be very thoughtful. I know we all know about being masked and we all know about being distanced, but when you leave the building, if you must leave the building, and sometimes we all need to leave the building, please be thoughtful, please be careful, please, because if any resident comes down with COVID, we will really suffer. We will be back to strategic kinds of, to feeling very much locked down again, and we don't want to be there. And I just urge you to be thoughtful. I know that you are, and please, from the bottom of my heart, keep us all safe. I do what I can for you, and you need to do what you can for us too. Thanks a bunch.
Hi, I'm Phil Cass, and we got some exciting news going on. I am your new chair for the dining committee, so if there's any questions going on there, you can probably relay them to me so I can take them back to the dining committee. And also to let you know, if you have any problems with what your food that's being delivered, that we still are using the comment cards. Please use them freely. That's the only way we can help the dining room, and the only way that dining rooms can please us. The subject I'm about to bring up to you right now is, as of November 3rd, you know that you're going to be voting for a new president. Well, the Carrington is also going to have an election coming up in January. We're going to be voting for new board members. And at that time, there's a bulletin that's going to go out and explain it all to you. We are going to add one more board member to bring a total up to 5. And there will be 3 that will be replaced on this next election. And the following year, the end of the year, next January, there'll be 2 replaced, so that there'll be 3 and 2, so that they'll always be older and newer. We want you to keep 2 things in mind when you, and we'll mention that to you. It is a 2-year commitment to run for the board. And we would ask that residents who have been here 6 months or greater be the only ones who are eligible to run. And if there's any questions, as we said, there will be a bulletin coming out to run it,
Details,
to tell you all the details. But if you have any questions, ask one of us, if you catch us in the hall, and we'll be glad to, let you know whatever's going on. You get the right scoop, so to speak. Okay, and, with that, I'm done.
I'm Mary Jo Wenkus. I chair the Activities Committee. Some of you may have noticed that we've dropped the number of meetings from 2 to 1 a month for the next few months. Part of that is because, and I wanted to bring this up a little, we're limited to activities. Obviously, we've had to eliminate all activities going out of the building. And I was thinking back to pre-COVID, right? We went to museums, there were restaurant outings for lunch and dinner. We went to plays, we went to concerts. My gosh, this place was so busy. The biggest complaint was that there were too many things happening at the same time and you can't do it all. But today, we're much more limited. So I was looking through the activities calendar available every month. There are 4 calendars every month that you can pick up downstairs in the living room. There's a movie calendar that shows movies both that are shown in the tap and in the movie theater on the 3rd floor. There is channel 1901, so when you want to sit in your apartment for a while and figure out what's going on there, this lists exercise classes, movies, all kinds of things, TED Talks. And then there's also a fitness calendar. I don't have one in front of me for all the classes that Axel offers. And of course, there's always, if you need an extra copy of a weekly menu, that's downstairs too. But what I wanted to say about activities is that almost all of the activities right now are resident run. And it is such a vital part of helping get through this strange time we are all living in. Haima teaches classes, Jewish history, Jewish interesting things. I've been to several of them. There are games that people are willing to teach new people. Chair volleyball, which is pretty much run by the residents now, mostly. Thank you, Harriet, if you hear this. Harriet was standing at the back of one of the tables to help chase balls. So there's just so much. Cosetta's Rosary group, Trudy's sewing group, sewing
And bingo.
Blankets for memory care residents. So almost all of this is residents doing things for residents, which is just phenomenal, and I can't thank you enough. Jack Shore has a book club that he's starting in November. My husband and I have signed up for it.
Well, Jack's book club, the first book will come to us in November, and the first meeting will be in December.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, I had that clarified the other day.
There you go, and Jack's going to help coordinate getting people to, large print
Correct.
or audio or regular print.
I've already started with the library. They've got the whole list and ready things to go because I'm helping.
What's
Jeff.
the title?
The title is something.
Well, okay, he's getting old. We'll get it later.
Yeah,
Okay. Now I'm going to advertise 2 other things here. These are not free. We have a reflexologist, Jasmine, who comes to the Carrington on Fridays. Pre-COVID, she used to come all the time. Now she's allowed to come back. She has tested negative for COVID. I left a few flyers on the living room table. If you could pick them up if you're interested. It's very relaxing. It's feet and hands. It can be just feet or just hands. I go every couple weeks. There are several people here who do. She has 4 appointments available on Fridays. And then Rachel Day used to teach here, and she's another wonderful instructor who cannot come into the building yet. She has started a class for 55 and over. They call active agers. This is a kind of a boxing boot camp. There are some flyers for her also on the table. this is how she's trying to make a living now, so it's not free. But my husband and I do participate in her classes 3 days a week. It is not chair oriented. It's standing, and you can be doing anything from a jumping jack to some, jabs and crosses. So just ways to keep going, ways to stay interested and engaged with the world around us. So that's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have a few updates that I'd like to share with the community. Some residents reminded me that we regularly provided an occupancy update at our normal meetings, so I have that for you all today. We have 44 apartments in memory care. 33 of those are occupied, and we do have one couple, so a total of 34 memory care residents. We have 251 independent living apartments. 149 of those are occupied, and a total of 184 residents. We have 88 assisted living apartments, which includes the bridge area on the 3rd floor, and 44 apartments are occupied, so 47 AL residents. In summary, we're about 60% occupied, just over 60% occupied as a community, and if I do my math very quickly, 265 residents living at the Carrington. I do want to extend a thank you to Trudy, Sue, Rosemary, and the other residents who helped with creating the fidget blankets that have been brought over to our memory care residents. Adrian, our Director of Life Enrichment for Assisted Living, extends a thank you as well. It's just a very cool program of residents in our community helping out other residents. There are some pictures that we'll be putting up on our Facebook page. I encourage you to check that out. But thank you, Trudy, Sue, Rosemary, and all our other residents who helped with those blankets. Want to remind residents that the marketing team and Stacy, our Director of Marketing and Sales, have informed me that the enhanced resident referral credits are extended through the end of November. So it is a really nice way to get some new residents who may enjoy living in the community and becoming your new neighbors to come in, and you get a nice credit on your bill 30 days after they've moved in. So please see the marketing team to share information for us to contact them if you know someone who may be interested, and appreciate your help with that. Let's see. In terms of, we've had many residents say that they are still interested in a flu vaccine. So as of today, October 23rd, we are planning to have a makeup day, an additional day for flu vaccines at the end of next week. I believe it's going to be either the 29th or the 30th, but once we confirm the date with the vaccine provider, which is the pharmacy that was here earlier in the month, we'll post that on the Touchtown announcement system and make sure that we post it in the common areas as well. We did have about 31 residents who had filled out consent forms that we do not believe received the vaccines. So you can check with our community nurse, Helen, if she already has a consent form. If not, you can ask for one at the concierge desk to fill it out and provide it. And you will need your insurance card to include that information on the consent form. There should be no charge to you, but we encourage everyone to do it. I think with all things going on COVID related right now, I would encourage everyone to get a flu vaccine, because it's really just not the time to need to go to the hospital because you've caught the flu if you can prevent it. Speaking of what seems to be the ever-present topic of COVID, at this point, we are testing our staff on a weekly basis. The most recent guidance released by Illinois Department of Public Health was dated October 21st, and it states that if the county or region you are in is above 5% positivity rate for testing as a whole, that staff from communities such as ours need to be tested on a weekly basis. We have a partnership with a local lab, and we'll be doing staff testing on Wednesdays and Thursdays each week until we have noticed that the positivity rates have dropped below 5%. So for the time being, we'll continue with that. As always, if we receive a positive test result, we will announce it immediately. We'll share it with an update that gets distributed to your apartments that evening, taped to your door, placed on the Touchtown channel, emailed out to our email distribution group, and just make sure that you're all well informed about what's going on. We continue to follow that guidance. I know some people might say, wow, it seems like every fifth word Tom says is IDPH guidance. I was joking with the council. It's really like another part-time job following this, but I do take it seriously. Our leadership takes it seriously. We are planning right now for the contingency that if we're all levels of care are in CMS phase 3, which is the least restrictive. That can be affected by a resident testing positive. It can be affected by a staff member who tests positive in the community, or it can be affected by the county or region having a high positivity rate. So we need to be prepared. I want you all to know we're doing everything possible to keep you safe. We're also planning for if something that's out of our control occurs, how we will implement additional safety protocols. And as Jaime said earlier, please take it seriously when you're out of the community, when you have a visitor that's in your apartment. If you do so, I encourage all of you to act as if anyone might have COVID and to keep your masks on at all times, because you never know who has it, and unfortunately some people who are asymptomatic can pass it along, and it can be very dangerous for someone else. So I think one of our new residents, Ray Gilbert, shared with me, I wear my mask to keep you safe. Would you wear yours to keep me safe? And I'd ask all of us to do that as a community, to look out for each other. I think I've gone through my notes. So that being said, this is our first recorded resident council meeting with 3 resident council members. Our resident council member, Cosetta Joseph, who had served with us, had decided to step down from the council as well as from the Food and Beverage Committee. So I do want to take the opportunity to thank Cosetta for her contributions. She did a lot of hard work to make this community a good place to live, and just very much appreciate everything that she's done. Look forward to continuing to working with the council and when the new council members join as well. And as always, I like to joke, I'm the only Tom that works here. If you're an email person, email me, tom@thecarrington.com. You can email general questions to residentquestions@thecarrington.com. And for anyone who wants to schedule a virtual visit, an in-person visit, or just a general question about assisted living or memory care, please email almcquestions@thecarrington.com. Any other updates?
I do. I belong here because I can't keep the things in my memory. I'm just like everybody else. The book that there was going to be is called The Hearts of Men, and the author is Nicholas Butler.
All right, and that's for Jack Shore's Book Club.
Cool.
Well, that all being said, I'd like to thank you for watching. Again, this was recorded at the Carrington on October 23rd and will be broadcast on October 27th, Tuesday, the last Tuesday of the month. I'm sure our fitness coordinator / tech guru, Axel, will make it available to play a couple extra times. But in the meantime, stay safe, cover your face, and take care. Thanks for watching.
Thanks. Bye.
So long.
Masks up, everybody.